To recap over the graphics I just showed you, here's the a little table I've built to demonstrate the actual best render time and also best size depth and also various statistical information. So for the static scene, the best render time was 66 seconds to render it, where the motion blur scene was about 188 seconds to render. Both size, best size for both was pretty much 15. So as you can see, size has not a lot of impact over render, where actually depth does have a huge impact over rendering time. Because the static scene, there's really no triangle moving into the actual scene space. The actual BSP depth could be increased, where motion blur the depth needs to be lowered in order to allow to free up some memory in order to allocate bigger leaf nodes because of these moving triangles. As you can see, the average size is way different here. So we're talking about an average of 12, where the average size is 155 for the motion blur scene. Obviously, in this case, it clearly shows that when I tune these parameters, the actual size is way too big. Actually, it would need a little bit more depth to be able to speed it up even further. In this case, to be able to render this scene even faster, I would need to increase the memory usage much higher than this to be able to lower the average size. Same thing for the average depth. So as you can see, the best depth was 34, where the average depth was 31. So it was not reaching the maximum depth, but it was quite close. Where actually average depth for motion blur was 27, where the actual max depth was 28. So you could see that it was actually pushing the actual BSP tree to its maximum. So you can actually clearly see here that BSP tree depth would adding more BSP tree depth for the motion blur scene is needed in this case. The number of leaf nodes here is pretty much higher for the static scene. The main reason for this is that there's more leaf node containing less triangles because the depth is higher. In this case, because the actual leaf node contains so much information, the number of leaf nodes is much less because the depth is lower than the actual static scene. So the max leaf size really demonstrate that the number of triangle being stored in each voxels is much higher for motion blur because of these moving triangles.